is going on, people? It is your boy Izzle30 frickin' free, welcoming you to Uprising 2026. We are here for a big night of action. Last night, if you missed it, we started showcase mode. Tonight, well, 2K26, I did say, wasn't going to be on our docket for Uprising. I may have lied. I may have said the wrong thing because turns out the bandwidth for the game is there and we can do Uprising on it. But before we get into talking about Uprising, how about we run down the card here? Obviously a lot of big time matches with the Prospect Cup and Prospect Championship tournaments both taking center stage through 2 nights of action. As we can see here, this is the current bracket state. We'll be kicking off the night in the Prospect Championship tournament on the prime time side of things with a couple of things, as we also quickly just look at the breakdown side of the Prospect Cup. Both very, very structured in terms of where we are. So now let's get into talking about our first bout of the evening. Blake Monroe, Kalani Jordan, 1v1 winner makes it to grand finals. Loser has a date with Thea Hale. As for the next bout, Tiffy Time and Roxanne Perez will be going toe to toe, as it is the breakdown upper finals. Winner obviously goes to that divisional finals as well. Loser goes to a battle with, I believe it to be Chelsea Green. Afterwards, from this one, a slight change in the card. It's going to be our men's upper finals before we touch the lower bracket. It is going to be El Grande Americano taking on Angelo Dawkins. 2 big boys there going to war. From there, though, we do head to the lower brackets that we have showcased to you. It is going to be a nice battle between Thea Hale and the loser of the Kalani Jordan Blake Monroe match. Then it will be the loser of the Roxanne Perez and Tiffany Stratton bout facing off against Chelsea Green, as mentioned. And then our second to last match, it will be Big Bronson Reed versus the loser of the El Grande and Angelo Dawkins, before we reach the main event of the evening. A big time battle in the women's division. It is War Games, as Fatal Influence, the stacked lineup of women, take on the stacked lineup of Breakdown Stars. It will be Liv Morgan, Julia, Nia Jackson, big time Becky Lynch going over against Fatal Influence. Only one of these teams can walk out, and with Primetime holding the advantage heading into tomorrow, the question is, who will get it? Obviously, I spent today prepping for tonight's action here on a 2K26. What I haven't done yet is prep our stars. And we are going to be jumping into universe mode for this match. And realistically, as I transition over to me, hello, I don't know how this will shape up. I've got some things I can see in terms of new options. If they will work for tonight, obviously with tournament action, it makes it a little bit harder to work with. So there is that. Either way, should be a fun night to go into. And realistically, having watched most of IPW stuff, it is, well, the stuff I've been doing since the end of last night's showcase. I did continue to play. I played some of the normal game mode stuff, like my faction. I haven't touched anything else other than that. But yeah, that was pretty fun. Anyway, we're just getting ready. We're just getting set. It's going to be a nice change of pace, I feel. The only thing that I can say is tomorrow night's main event may be in a little bit of jeopardy in terms of the stars competing in the men's wargame match. I've heard rumors, grumblings from IPW's officials that technically Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson may not be able to compete. I don't know the extent of what that meant, but that is what I have been told. Anyway, as we are ready for this one, I'm intrigued because this should be an interesting night. I also did not know Jasmine Nix was in this game. I only learned that last night when I was doing stuff, and so that's why we are on Universe mode on 2K26 instead of 25 for Uprising. And no, I'm not going to reveal a lot of the secrets that have happened here, but it should be pretty fun. So, I am almost ready. Give me like 20 seconds to get fully prepped, because while I want to jump straight into the action, there is some stuff to preface. IPW will be going on a break week, a hiatus week, to just prepare for 2K26, the full release of everything and all we can do for the shows. Because right now, there's a lot still that needs to be addressed before we kind of touch the game properly. So, there is that, and hopefully you understand, because there's a lot. There is just a lot. And yeah. I also need to prepare one last thing before we jump into tonight's action, and that is how the game looks. Because obviously, I have not sorted it, and that would be useful to have set up. We're also jumping into this game with me not even sorting any of the extra stuff, like what's it called? I haven't sorted any of the display presentation. I would like default, bit more global. That off, that off, that I keep on, but it doesn't make a difference. Yes, yes. I've just learnt some... See, one thing that I've noticed... so I did watch a few, like... what's it called? Like, breakdowns of universe and everything. There's stuff in those that skipped over big changes. It's like, usually I edit cards. And, well... you can actually move matches around in the card without having to create it. It's so cool. It's great for me. Anyway. I believe we are ready. I hope. I have, however, messed up my settings ready for, what's it called? I hate that function, so that's going down. Yeah, this is all stuff I forgot to do last night, so forgive me. But yeah, I have sorted it. To be fair, I should have been sorting this before, but instead I was just doing my faction and trying to unlock some stuff. I've learned that some championships won't be available. I've created a spreadsheet with all of the design looks from 2K25 over to 2K26, but they aren't available. Don't ask me why, because they just aren't. Anyway, it is match number 1 time. We're heading to Uprising right now. I don't know how this works, but we shall see. If it don't work correct, we'll fix it. Okay, let us go. I don't know what that was, but welcome to Uprising. We're live with our opener in the Prospect Championship Tournament.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from Boynton Beach, Florida,
Kalani Jordan, a solid run so far during this tournament. Overall, a solid superstar. Winning out to make it here against some difficult competition. The likes of Kiana James and then the underground champion, Thea Hale. Tonight, though, Kalani's looking for gold herself in the form of the Prospect Championship, looking to make it to tomorrow night with a win here in this opening bout against this lady. The full glamorous effect in 2K26. Blake Monroe makes her way to the ring.
and her opponent
Monroe, always that beautiful look. Confidence out of control. Looking to also maintain the form that she has gone through in this tournament. Big wins against Jordan Grace, Gigi Dolan, and now a chance to advance to the finals against Kalani Jordan. We're underway here with Big Man Gregathy back in the ring as our official. It's James. It is Monroe. Nice lock here is Jordan. Side headlock, but pushed off. Monroe, a drop down. Up with the leapfrog. Nice attempt at the drop kick, but Jordan avoids that. Missing with the springboard. Monroe around the world. Misses herself. Springboard. Kalani with the moonsault. Early aerial assaults being issued by both stars. Oh, super kick caught. Monroe connects back. Headbutt attempted, but I believe an uppercut meets that shot. Jordan forced onto the ropes. Referee, Big Man Gregathy, causing the break, but it's not clean as Jordan warned for that cheap shot against the glamour. Up top goes Jordan quickly, but caught. Powerbomb. Monroe drives her crashing into the floor. Now the headbutt connects for Blake. Our opener off to a quick start. A massive knee shot from Monroe. Drived into Kalani, and she's heading up top, ascending, hitting that drop kick. Beautiful execution from Monroe. That should break the initial count by our official as we return to the ring. Monroe trying to unload, hits the sling blade. Kalani, though, firing back. Short arm clotheslines. Big time thwapping kick. Ends that sequence as she ascends back up top and gets a little froggy. Cover here. 1, 2. No, near fall. Monroe trying to get back because Kalani has taken over here. Off the ropes, cartwheels in, but the knees come up from Blake, stopping the aggression. Kalani's still going. Springboard boot to the face. And that foot certainly felt the impact as it collided onto Monroe. Jordan may have just been caught, however, as Monroe sends her crashing to ringside. And Blake, well, Blake being Blake, getting confident, taunting. Avoids the shot from Kalani. And, well, it is Monroe in control right now. Scoops up Jordan. Slams her down. Could have turned that into a fall-away slam, but no. Monroe going to keep control, keep Kalani right in front of her, in her sights. However, there's Jordan who's going to stop it, charges in, hits the forearm cleave. Both ladies really stepping up to the occasion here. Our first IPW match here in 2K26, and there's Monroe's massive knee shot. It staggered Jordan, but Jordan catching the follow-up offense. The boot of Monroe not gonna hit her. Jordan looking to fly. Moonsault out of the corner. Connecting with such ease and elegance. But Kalani's not done yet. Well, it may be done now as Monroe taking back control into a neck breaker. It is a very dominant affair here by both ladies. That when they have control, it is pure aggression. on display as Kalani waiting, biding her time, looking to strike Monroe, but it's Blake who comes through, misses the uppercut. Kalani, reverse, sent into the corner. It's Jordan. Hooked up, armbar, Monroe utilizing the rope for extra leverage there. Glamour on full display. Takes waist control. Full Nelson into a skull-crushing finale. Monroe not done yet. Lining Kalani up. Jordan slow to her feet. Boom! The boots to the side of the head from Monroe. Connecting onto Kalani Jordan. Following it up with an elbow drop is Monroe. Blake has found her chance to strike. It's cut short. Kalani has Monroe in the corner. Drops her. Springboards out. Split-legged moonsault into the cover. 1, 2. Ooh, no, nearly the 3. That could have been a big-time result as a former TNA Knockouts champion on the verge of beating a former AEW Women's World Champion. Nice arm drag takedown from Kalani, forcing Monroe into an awkward situation, similarly with Big Man Gregathy. Scoop slum comes through. Jordan ascends once more. Frog splash again. Comes through from Jordan to great effect. We need to really see a comeback here from Monroe. She is just absorbing the punishment here as a leaping crossbody from Jordan connects. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Massive result here as Kalani Jordan sends Blake Monroe into the lower bracket finals against Thea Hale. Kalani now gains the advantage in this tournament, not having to, well, in the grand finals, if you're unaware how this works, because the lower and upper brackets will be merging.
Here is your winner, Kalani Jordan!
With how the brackets work, it will be essentially an Iron Match grand finals on either side of the bracket. Then we go one-on-one in the grand finals. But yeah, realistically, it's quite surprising that we are here. And yes, I do realize that we have a bit of double music. I did not realize this game had music per show, but hey, it's what it is. Anyway, tomorrow night, you will be seeing a massive matchup featuring Kalani Jordan as the first guarantor star on that show. Wow. Big news that is. But now, the attention shifts back to our next matchup. It is going to be Tiffy time. Roxanne Perez. Straight at you. These two, well, expected to be here. Let's be honest. Do we get the strobe lights? Of course we do. Same entrance for 3+ years. Not even a current one. At least she has good attires. We've got both announcers on the call here tonight as Stratton and Perez go toe-to-toe. And you looked at the breakdown bracket. They brought some real killers into this tournament. And on Thursday night, one of those big killers got sent home in the form of Stephanie Vaquer. And thus, we still have Chelsea Green in the lower bracket. But right now, attention is on this one. The winner to the divisional finals. Loser gets a battle with Chelsea Green. And just taking a look at how this tournament shaped up for both ladies. Roxanne defeating Lola Vice, then knocking out Dakota Kai to make it here. As for Stratton, she put Lash down in the lower bracket and sent Ren down there as well. Thus setting up for this upper finals. And realistically, as we look at this matchup, intention is certainly on which of these ladies can get the ball rolling first. The crowd behind Roxanne Perez is Big Man Gregathy drawing the duties for this matchup. Stratton, no stranger to high stakes battles. Former Women's World Champion. Looking to go back to Mania, looking to be a threat there. Obviously not involved in them title matches. As for Roxanne, former NXT Women's Champion, 2 times over. A lot of success capturing gold. And if you're one of these two ladies, you realistically look at this bout as potentially game-changing. A chance to become a champion on primetime. Even though you aren't a member of that roster, it is a nice sort of shift that can happen. All done in 2 nights. As right now, these two going toe-to-toe. Trading of positions. It's Roxanne now with control. Nice kicks to the lower knee. Well, she's going to follow it up. Nice stomp to the throat. Perez is taking control early. That is good for Roxy because realistically, in a battle like this, it is a battle of attrition. Both, I would say, fairly similar in terms of gas tanks. Very agile in their own rights. You have a former cheerleader / gymnast in Stratton. Roxanne, pure breed in terms of wrestling. Has a lot of skills in that regard. And in my mind, I would have to say the crowd's favorite in this match is Roxanne Perez, but Stratton, in a moment's notice, could just take control, could just uncork big shots. And that could have been one with that German suplex missing and that cartwheeling attack. Usually she utilizes that to get into a Alabama slam, but Roxanne gonna stop that in its tracks. Perez now targeting the knee, looking to remove the agility, the speed of Stratton's game. Missing with that dropkick could cost her that game plan. Stratton now going on the offensive. Forces Roxanne into the floor. Big time German. This time will connect for Stratton. She looks to unload. We've got a 4-man booth here in the Uprising arena. What a beautiful night. What a beautiful show this will be. So we're only 2 bouts in of the full 7 here tonight. Perez and Stratton, knowing the stakes, they want to avoid a second bout tonight. They also want to avoid being a disadvantage in the grand finals if they are to make it all that way. Referee getting to a count of 6. Now, obviously we've talked about this throughout the tournament. How countouts realistically aren't good for anyone. A double count out in our upper finals will be insanity. I need to point that out because what that would imply is we would have to send Chelsea Green on the breakdown bracket side through to face the winner of the primetime side. She would be, well, no, not in that case. It would be a triple threat in the women's lower bracket finals here on the breakdown side. Anyway, Stratton into the cover here. Not good for one. Going again into the pin. This time a little cheeky. Utilizing the ropes. Using, I would say, a strategy Roxanne Perez would be known for. But Perez, she's fought this fight pretty fairly. Forcing Stratton into the corner. What's Roxy thinking here? Charges in, but caught elbow up from Stratton. Gonna stop it, regardless of what she had in mind. And now, ooh, big time shot. Inverse body slam from Stratton. Now, trying to come through with the knees. A Cosadora, some may call it. Roxy may think implant buster. Not gonna get it. Instead, Stratton on the offensive once more. Puts Roxanne in the corner, and there's some blood. Busted open is Perez. STO. She's going to utilize that red mist, that veil of red to just fire her up. Cartwheels through. Beautiful execution from Perez. Into the cover here. Big man Gregory down for the count. Gets to 2. And Stratton's forced to kick out. Roxanne now sizing up her opponent. The kick connects. And I think we've got a little pop. Rocks! Bang into the pin goes Roxanne. Gets a 2 count. Almost the win here against Stratton. Stratton lying defenseless. Perez calling her up. Calling her shot. Meteora. Perfect execution from Roxanne, who's keeping the momentum going. Slams down Stratton. You just look at the insanity in the face of Roxanne. Lands the Des Prez off the middle rope. She is such an innovative performer, innovative wrestler. She realistically could win it all. Former television champion in her own right. One of the 2 remaining in this entire tournament. The other obviously being whom the loser of this bout will have to face in Chelsea Green. As it stands right now, it is Roxanne that's going to make it to the divisional finals. Hitting the frog splash cover here. 1, 2. No. Stratton out. Keeping alive in this matchup. At the moment, Tiffy time is looking more like Roxy time. As she's caught. Crossface locked in. Rope break called though. Official in prime position to see it. As Roxanne, she's lying in wait, looking to capitalize on a weakened Stratton. Stratton misses a shot. Perez doesn't. Roxanne had a hold of Tiffy, but Stratton, well, it's a traded position really in the end. Perez reversed, sent over the top rope. Stratton tries a hit drop kick. Perez avoids. And we're back in the ring. And we're back in a war. Perez eats some low shots. As Stratton keeping the pressure on. Up on the shoulders with Roxanne. Rolling through. Green Bay Plunge, I think that would be a good name for it. Wait, no, that's the Swanton. Either way, it's impactful. And Stratton had control for that moment, but now backstabber. Learned it from her hero, her Judgment Day colleague, Carlito. And now, off the ropes, trying to hit that knee again, but Stratton wise to it. Avoids it. Sends Roxanne running. Roxy put down in the corner. Springboard cross corkscrew attack from Stratton into the cover, but a kick out. Massive from Roxanne to stay alive in this one. And this is already delivering as a matchup of the year contender. Such good action from both of these ladies. Roxy firing back. Big shot after big shot being unloaded by both of them. And it's going to come down to who can just hit the kill shot. Really, the finisher that does the damage. Roxanne fires back, catching Stratton. Nice forearm cleaves from Roxy. It scoops up Tiffy, slams her down. And lying in wait, looking to strike, is the Judgment Day's Perez. This time, crossface in deep. Nowhere near the ropes, no rope break in sight. Roxanne leaning back. Will she get the tap out here? It's going to be close. But no. Stratton surviving. Barely, as some may say, as Roxanne Perez scoops her up. Caught though. DDT. Stratton firing back. Chance to fly maybe. High Rent District looking promising. Splash off the top connects. But the lights go out. That's Roxanne's best buddy. Raquel Rodriguez making her presence known here at Uprising. Perez has backup in this tournament, and she's going to capitalize on it. Rolling up Stratton into the pin. It's in deep. 2, 3. Perez advances in the upper bracket. Thanks to assistance from Rox and Judgment Day colleague Raquel Rodriguez. What a battle by both ladies. Well, now Stratton has to battle back if she is to make it to the upper finals. This pin was beautiful.
Here is your winner, Roxanne Perez.
Excellence in execution from Roxanne. We'll see how this moves us forward in this tournament, because Roxanne is one step away now with advantage in the divisional finals. Will that advantage pay off? We shall see as we transition through the card. We've got a massive matchup next. It is Prospect Cup on display. As he faces off.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from the Gulf of America, weighing in at 202 pounds, El
El Grande. This does not look like the usual El Grande we've seen in IPW. Slightly different look to him. We shall see how that entails towards this matchup, but as it stands, he's in with a good shot up against this next man who's about to bring the smoke. I missed their old theme. That's all I'll say on that matter. Mix it up because it's Dawkins in the house.
And his opponent, representing the Street Profits from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 260 pounds, Angelo Dawkins.
To put it simple, a win, and you are into the grand finals of the entire Prospect Cup. Win that and you get a shot against Big Daddy Drew in our next big show. A loss, and well, you've got to go face off against Big Bronson Reed in the lower finals. Not a pretty sight. Crowd wanting to smoke here as our official gets us underway. It is El Grande and Angelo Dawkins tying up here. Waistlock applied by El Grande. Dawkins transitioning through into his own side headlock over the top of El Grande, using his weight to get elevation on that hold. Grande, though, able to escape that dangerous predicament into a arm lock behind the back, applying pressure to the elbow joint, and now Dawkins transitions out into his own arm attacking maneuver. Certainly tonight, we've seen a lot of interesting bits of action forming, as we've had some pretty big bouts, let's be honest, to start the show. Remember, it is 7 bouts in total tonight. The tournament will reach its climax tomorrow. And for these stars that we are seeing in this upper bracket matchup, you've got to think a loss really may unsettle them going into another matchup tonight against potentially someone who's just been better overall in terms of recent form. Remember, a lot of the stars in this tournament, when we look at how the men's Prospect Cup is shaping up, Bronson Reed, one up against Dragon Lee, one lost against El Grande, sent to the lower bracket, one against Charlie Dempsey in a very interesting bout, I might add, and now beat Dragon Lee in a second time around to then have a nice date with the loser of this one. So in total, Bronson Reed's won 3 bouts already in a row. For these two, they've had to win 2 to get to this point. And a loss would set them really off kilter. They have to rethink their game plan. Some may not be even thinking or planning of how to deal with Bronson Reed tonight. Then some are just wanting the break. They just want the rest. Grandade's probably one of them who really would just like to get this over and done with, not have to deal with a second bout. As for Dawkins, he's got heart and heart and really so much courage that he would be, well, probably disappointed that he lost this matchup and sent to the lower bracket. Still would approach that battle with such, like, an attitude that's beneficial, that's positive, that's like, oh, well, I guess I'll have to show Bronson Reed why I am in this position, why I'm in the lower finals. But regardless of that, regardless of everything that's going out of my mouth right now, this is turning into an epic night already. Camera cuts are a little bit shaky, but it is what it is as we continue to watch this broadcast up close and personal with El Grande and Dawkins. Irish curse backbreaker there from El Grande. Actually, it was a bit more of a white noise. I got the wrong Sheamus move. Oh well. Regardless of that, big time sky high from Dawkins, putting down El Grande. Our referee's count starting to worry me though. Our official up to 6. Never mind, I'm not worried. I thought she was higher than that. Haha. It's Big Woman Kim dishing out the duties for this one. Irish whip reversed as Dawkins ripcords El Grande into an assisted just slamming to the mat. As Angelo lining up his prey. Slams the head of El Grande into the top turnbuckle, and I believe it may have caused some blood to be trickling underneath the mask of El Grande Americano. Dawkins has certainly brought the smoke tonight, but caught. That smoke may have just gone up into flames. I may have spoke too soon though. El Grande's caught. Gets a little cheeky. Eye rake onto Dawkins. Referee didn't spot it. Thus, it means El Grande's going unpunished. Slams down Dawkins, who's crawling about. What is El Grande looking to do here? Lining up the target. Bang! Clothesline. Sending Dawkins crashing to ringside. I'm looking at this bout from a Dawkins perspective. You don't want to get goaded into an interesting situation with El Grande, who will very much cause carnage, try and be dirty, take the easy road through matches. And well, right now, that's a big time power bomb. Dawkins connecting. That's what Angelo needs to do. Big, heavy, octane, high octane offense to put away El Grande. Americano returns to the ring, a count of 7, but into the loving arms of Angelo Dawkins. Fireman's carry here for Dawkins, going to be fought out of by El Grande. Roll through from Dawkins, but there's the headbutt. El Grande connecting. Cover here. Good for 1, make it 2, but the hand on the rope saves Dawkins from defeat. Poor ring awareness there by El Grande, giving Dawkins the easy option out of that pinning predicament. Well, Dawkins is going to capitalize off of that easy escape, planting El Grande with a DDT. Now, caught though. Lariat from El Grande. It's going to stop whatever Dawkins had in mind. And El Grande springboards in. Blockbuster connecting on to Dawkins. As this matchup rolls on, you start to wonder what it's going to take to put the other man out. Dawkins charging in. Boot stove to the face from El Grande. Headbutt connects again. Dawkins in danger as El Grande looking to get it done here. 2, 3. Big headbutt connects for El Grande Americano to send us
Here is your winner, El Grande
into our next battle. Well, we're going to head out of this over to talk about what we're about to witness. Now that we have our card shaping up for the rest of the night, I can actually piece it together. I'll give you a little heads up here as to what I hadn't planned. Initially, I had Thea Hale versus Kalani Jordan as a low bracket prediction. Roxanne Perez versus Chelsea Green is my other one. I believe that I can tell you what the other one is once I've set up that battle. I had Angelo Dawkins versus Bronson Reed. So, yeah, I've got it right for the rest of the night. But El Grande heading into the next battle as we do the same in the Prospect Championship tournament. It's lower bracket finals time, and the glamour is going to be tested. What a phenomenal woman. I think got caught off guard with how that previous battle went. But realistically, it wasn't a bad showing by Monroe. Now has a chance to prove us all wrong that it wasn't a fluke loss to Kalani Jordan. Or, sorry, prove it wasn't Kalani. I don't know.
Contest is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from London, England, Blake Monroe.
Monroe needs to prove here that her loss was just a fluke. That's what I wanted to say. And well, she's going up against a champion here in IPW. One with a new theme. A new feel, new attitude. Fired up and ready to go.
From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Thea Hale.
Interesting to see Hale coming out, no longer throwing the U up. It is a different attitude, more or less. A bit more confidence in what she can do. But still, fast, quick, and frantic. And that's how I describe Thea Hale heading into this one, as she does the Gigi Dolan thing. As well, our lower finals are set. Our tournament is almost concluded. And let's get underway. Crowd being G'd up by both ladies as we're about to go toe-to-toe in this one. Hale and Monroe. It's meet in the middle with Hale connecting. Springboard misses, as does the elbow. Both ladies failing to connect early. But it's Hale now who seizes an opportunity to strike. That strike may have just been costly as Monroe now on the attack. Shots lined up and fired off by Monroe. She kept going to try for that headbutt, and this time connects early. Maybe not going for that anymore, but a roll-up here, small package. Hale trying to steal it. A lot of history between these two ladies in NXT, with revolving around the North American Championship, where, well, Thea Hale became North American Champion by defeating Blake Monroe. And that obviously wasn't potentially intended to happen in the Glamour's master plan. And then Speed Tournament time, only a couple of days ago now, maybe even a week ago I should say, Thea Hale did it again, thanks to some help from Miss Parker, upsetting Blake Monroe for a second time as the IPW Classic, the face, comes through from Thea. That maneuver is so weird. Anyway, roll up here, Monroe catching Thea. While it's not going to get the win, it certainly gives Monroe the opportunity to strike. Around the world she goes. Boom, drop kick. Flush onto the chest. The Glamour lining up Thea, really looking to make mincemeat of quote-unquote inferior competition. Hale charges in. Eats a knee. No, doesn't eat a knee. Just lands a crossbody. I tell a lie. Does eat a boot to the face, though. And then Monroe fires back. Nice sling blade. Puts Thea down, and that could be a difficult situation for the former Chase U student. Hale fires back, stopping Monroe's flurry of punches, but there's a roll-up attempt. Monroe desperate. One. Obviously, a desperation sort of situation is a loser is eliminated style matchup. But desperation also is effective when it's win and you're into the divisional finals. The divisional finals, the only round of the competitions where Iron Man or Iron Woman matches will be taking place, as sunset flip from Thea. Next, not going to turn it into that pin. And now, kicks to the groin, twisting into that net breaker. Cover here for Thea. 2, kick out given by Monroe. The Glamour already had to go through one war tonight. A second one could be costly, but Monroe, the knee connects. This time flush onto Thea's jaw. Good for a good cover. But that cover's only good for 2. The Glamour and Thea Hale showcasing their hatred, their rivalry here tonight. Not what I expected to see as Monroe cartwheels up, dragging Hale down with those long legs. And she's going to capitalize. Future shock DDT. Planting Hale. Cover here for Blake. 1, 2, through nearly the hand of big man Gregathy, on the verge of hitting the mat and giving Monroe a rematch with Kalani Jordan. You have to remember the Iron Man matches, why they're happening in the grand finals or divisional finals in some regard, is to give the star who entered the bout undefeated that prize of going through everyone without having to lose, having to face off in extra bouts. they get an extra point to their name. Right now, that point, out of question, out of contention for Monroe and Hale. They're just battling to make it there to a chance. A light taste of victory. Referee counting up to 8 as the women return to the ring. Hale scooping up Monroe. Big world's strongest slam from Thea. And then lands the rolling senton. Springboard. Cannonball. Not gonna connect. That's what won her the North American Championship. And that's what won Monroe it. Plants her with the future shock. 1, 2, 3. The Glamour's got revenge in her sights as she shuts down Thea Hale. Divisional finals. Our first one locked in. And we're going to find out our second very soon. Because we will be heading to the women's lower bracket finals. But just to give some context, matchup will be Klein Jordan, Blake Monroe next week. Well, tomorrow night. But for now we shift over to the lower bracket on breakdown side of things. Who walks out victorious? As the clock was not striking true for Tiffany Stratton in the upper finals. How about a little bit of the flashing photography lights and a bit of time to show why she deserves to be in the final? Up against Roxanne Perez, but obviously before then.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Prior Lake, Minnesota, Tiffany Stratton.
She has to go through another television champion. We've got 2 still in this tournament. One's in the divisional finals. The other has a chance to join her by eliminating Tiffany Stratton. It's something I didn't expect to be seeing. But it's time to pledge allegiance to a hot freaking mess.
And her opponent from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, Chelsea Green.
Mike Rome still unable to hit the high note, so allow me to do it for him. It's Chelsea Green. There we go. Bringing that out for this bout. And well, it may be the last chance at glory for Green. Stratton obviously feeling the effects of the previous bout earlier tonight, but still limber, fresh as a daisy, some may say, even though she was put in a difficult situation. Tie up here, and Stratton getting advantage off of the first lockup. Boot's not going to connect, and now it's Green in control. in the early goings. It is going to be tete-a-tete for the foreseeable. But that foreseeable could fall short, as it's Green that's landed the last few shots, and Stratton's really not done much here. Game planning for this one, obviously, if you're Green, you would have not really known who to expect in this matchup. As I said, I predicted it to be Roxanne Perez versus Chelsea Green. Battle of two former television champions down in the lower bracket, but I was mistaken, as Stratton's going to go for the face. Hey-oh! Oh, we don't get the facial expression look. Gosh darn it. Anyway. Green catching Stratton. Roll up here. One. Good for one. While it's not a winner, this might be. Hooked up. Alabama slam from Stratton. Sending Green crashing down. Tiffy not done. Trying to fly. Missing the crossbody, and Green caught as well. Roll up from Stratton. Going to be called a rope break. And that gives Green a chance to hook up with Tiffy. Headlock applied. Transitions through into a wrist lock. And also an elbow joint manipulation. Forcing with the, lever shot to Stratton. A hell of a lot of pain. Turns it into an SCO, does Green. And that, textbook wrestling. And former United States champion. Stratton up, over, rolling through into that senton. And Green's really had a good showing here so far, but currently it is Stratton in control. She is sent running. Nice hip toss. There's Chelsea Green lying await, trying to hit the pump kick. Can't connect. Instead, hooked up by Stratton into the fireman's carry. Rolling through. The lights go out again tonight. Is this a repeat of the opener between Stratton and Roxanne? As someone from the Secret Service. Their music's playing. But who is it? Well, there's a chair in the hands of Alba Fire. Not going to be connecting. Stratton protects herself. And Fire, her shot goes awry. Green now in danger as Stratton pops her up and spinebusters her down. Fire taking a long walk to the back, having failed her queen. But Green still able to fight, able to fire off some nice shots. Takes the back of Chelsea. Side Russian leg sweep. Why not? Throw in a few cheap shots. Green throwing some very, sucker punchery shots there as well. Able to fight off Stratton's attempts to get back into this. But Green really can and will decimate an opponent as she limbers up here to deal with Stratton. Boots connecting for Green as she is just making Stratton's life hell, but the Irish whip recoil not going to come through as Green fights off Stratton as well, stopping, I believe, an attempt at a corkscrew splash out the corner. Green caught on the fireman's carry. Elbows to the side of face going to allow her to escape in this back and forth affair. Green catching Stratton. Connects. Cover for Green. Good for one. Make it two. Not enough for the 3, but that's the biggest shot of this match. And it comes from Chelsea Green. Stratton cannot connect. Code breaker from Green. Channeling another Canadian great with that one. Lines up Stratton off the ropes. Big boot misses. Cartwheel through misses for Stratton. And Green. Fireman's carry escaped. Boot caught. Step up in Zaguri though for Stratton. Wins out in that exchange. It's Tiffy wanting to make it her time. My turn! If you think of the old Triple H song. Drops the elbow. Green maybe in a spot of bother here. As big man Kevin drawing the duties, issuing the count here at ringside. Green's sent into the LED ring post. Neck breaker from Stratton. Keeping the spout interesting. Making it hard for Chelsea to really do anything. This time it's Stratton sent running. As the referees count up to 7. Dangerous predicament. As Green's just going to be taunting. But Stratton returns to the ring at the count of 8. And, well, she is angry. Fires off some big shots. Hits the flatliner. And Green's in the drop zone. Not where you want to be. Stratton knows it. Calling up Chelsea to land the crossbody. Into the cover. And why not? Let's get dirty. Utilizing the middle rope to steal it. Ooh, if she wasn't enemy number 1 in the previous encounter. She certainly is now. Stratton. Cheap maneuver to get the W here. Well, as we get an achievement. We head to our next one. The lower bracket finals in the men's Prospect Cup. As we're bringing the smoke here for this one. And stir it up, stir it up, stir it up.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, representing the Street Profits from Cincinnati, Ohio. Weighing in at 260 pounds, Angelo Dawkins.
Well, if we look at how the upper finals went, it was very much felt like a mugging by El Grande. Feeling the damage to Angelo Dawkins. And enough damage at that to get the 1, 2, 3 and the W to send him down here to the lower bracket finals. Against this man. A wrecking ball. Now with a vision.
Representing the Vision from Black Forest, South Australia, weighing in at 330 pounds, Big Bronson Reed.
The big man ready to destroy. Before joining the Vision, he was just anarchy that was uncontained with no purpose. Now with a Vision behind him, the carnage comes in packs and heaps of it at any target deemed by his compatriots. tonight. That target is Angelo Dawkins in an El Grande Americano. As we tie up here in this one. Dawkins, a slight height advantage. But you've got to say, it's probably going to be very even in terms of the power game. I may have said something wrong there, though, because Dawkins has won out in the 2 test of strengths in the chain grappling. The initial lockup going in favor of Dawkins, but it is now Big Bronson Reed taking control. Roll up here out of that waist lock. Position switched as bridging into the next pin is Dawkins, but bridging out of it is Big Bronson Reed into the backslide. But that pin attempt, that pin exchange, gonna end in a stalemate. Speaking of stalemates, no cheap shot. Both men respecting one another not to go for it. Instead, just showing who is the better man in the lower bracket. Reed up and down with the big vertical suplex, making it difficult in the early goings for Angelo Dawkins. And you look at just how much could happen in a bout like this. You've got 2 men, a lot of power. Realistically, could turn it into a test of strength all the way through, but it's going to really come down to agility and endurance. The punishment that can be told onto both men is probably quite high. As Dawkins, nice mat slam, mat takedown I should say, followed up with a mat slam on to Big Bronson Reed. Really is stepping up to the occasion. Coming into this tournament, you just look at the actual Breakdown Prospect Cup names. People really expected certain few stars to be in this matchup as well as the upper finals. Those 3 names were obviously Obafemi, Big Bronson Reed, and El Grande Americano. But with the shock upset to Obafemi, to Dawkins, and then Oba losing to Dragon Lee, one of the big powerhouses of the tournament went home early. And now the situation is, who out of those remaining will step up to the plate? And Dawkins and Dragon Lee certainly did so to make it to this situation, but Dragon Lee succumbed to the offense of Bronson Reed. Speaking of offense, had Dawkins up in the fireman's carry, but not able to get it in. Instead, it's now Dawkins into an abdominal stretch. Hip toss out of it. Good work there by Bronson Reed. But really talking about it, Bronson Reed is a wrecking crew. And this tournament, obviously, the winner will go up against Drew McIntyre. With how this is shaped up, any of the names in it, I certainly feel could and should get a title match against him. Right now, we only have space for one number 1 contender, one man winning the Prospect Cup. Dawkins looking to be that man with an advantage now on the outside. Remember, he wants to get back into the upper bracket. He wants to get his rematch with El Grande. Belly? No belly to belly. Instead, it's a headbutt from Reed that busts open Dawkins. But a straight right from Dawkins, leveling Reed as he heads up top. Oh my word! Senton or Swanton from Dawkins over the steps. Not what you see every day, but it is such good offense. Reed stopping the offense, stopping the smoke from forming. You see the blood trickling down the face of Dawkins. Count of 6 reach, but that's because Reed didn't want to come in and get caught in this abdominal stretch yet again, but Bronson breaks it up quite quickly. Hooks up Dawkins, fireman's carry. Will he connect this time? Death Valley driver. Indeed he does. Now, the tidal wave's about to crash as a tsunami hits the Uprising ring. Cover here. 1, 2, through. No. Dawkins able to kick out, but Reed certainly frustrated. As Dawkins fires up, hooks up Reed, twisting in, final cut. 1, 2, no, near fall. Out of nowhere, Dawkins hitting a new level, a new layer of offense being thrown out. Calls Reed up to hook him up. Takes him up to the powerbomb position and brings him crashing down. Dawkins could be doing the unthinkable. Heads to the middle rope. He's calling his shot, lying in wait. Drops the axe, crowning Bronson Reed. Oh, crash landing for Dawkins. Bronson gonna stop the offense of the Street Profit. Uh-oh. Wasteland. Senton combo. Bronson Reed's rolling. Channeled his in. Wade Barrett there for that as well. Another senton landing for Bronson. But the third one isn't going to connect. It does, however, give him a chance to go for a powerbomb on the outside. Oh, off the apron, into the stairs! My word. The carnage is on display here tonight. Count of 7. Count out could be imminent. But not today. Dawkins returned to the ring by Bronson Reed. And the big man has him where he wants him. The wave, the ripple, the tsunami. Connecting onto Dawkins. 2. Good night. Bronson Reed makes the lower bracket run.
Here is your winner, Big Bronson Reed.
And sets us off for a massive main event now. It is Fatal Influence versus the Breakdown Best. Julia, Becky Lynch, Nia Jackson, Liv Morgan. Which of those will walk out victorious with Primetime holding the advantage? We will find out as we send it to the ring.
The following contest is the Women's War Games. The rules of the match are as follows. 2 teams will be contained in separate cages, with 1 member of each team starting the match. At regular intervals, alternating members from each team will be released to enter the match. The team with the advantage will be the first to have a member released into the match. Once all competitors have entered, War Games officially begins! The match can be won by pinfall or submission. Exiting the cage will result in a forfeit. And now,
let the War Games begin, folks! Before Alicia Taylor got cut off. It is Fatal Influence versus the best that Breakdown has to offer. Kiana James looking ready.
representing Fatal Influence from Sioux City, Iowa, Kiana James.
First Lady in the cage. Representing Primetime, it seems, will be Kiana James. Remember, Primetime holds the advantage, so their stars will be coming in first. Breakdown, they just have to sit and wait. And that is not Gucci. Kiana looking fired up, ready to go for this. But who from Breakdown starts this off? Oh, the Ruby Belt holder. Big time Becky Lynch. The last kicker.
And from Dublin, Ireland, the man, Becky Lynch.
No belt just yet, but it will be coming. And maybe it's a sign of good leadership from Becky, as 2 of her partners in this one are women she defeated to win that belt. Obviously, team captain for Breakdown. And the fact she's starting this affair off for her team, it's showcasing good leadership. Yes, as this lineup readies themselves, we get underway. Fatal Influence and Breakdown's best now sat in cage, ready for this. Apparently Becky wants to win the match. I cannot blame her. As we take a look up here, we've got our camera on the cages. Fatal Influence looking ready to go to work here. As for Breakdown, Nia, Julia, and Liv Morgan all set as well. As we focus back on this matchup. Kiana James taking it to the last kicker. Avoiding the offense as well. Sends Becky back over into the other ring. That's the thing about a War Games match, is the double rings and the massive steel cage surrounding it. And typically in steel cage matches, the name of the game is obviously try and escape from that one and get into a position where you're out of there. You're not having to deal with an opponent. But tonight, with War Games being the name of this, you go to war. You do not get the liberty to escape. As Fatal Influence set to add another number into this matchup. It's the tag team champion, Jasmine Nix, entering the fray. And it looks like she's not going to be entering without any plunder. A stop sign brought into the picture, and well, why not get some more? More weaponry to be utilized. A kendo stick gathered as Becky is just destroying her partner. But don't forget, this match cannot be won until everyone enters this. So Nyx really playing it smart, taking her time to get into the ring. Gives her time to recover. It also gives Kiana James to maybe a chance to get back into this. But Becky, powerbomb onto the stop sign as the door shut behind Jasmine Nyx. Nyx unloading some nice shots. Irish whip sends Becky up and over into the other ring. Eyes on Kiana James as, well, for a second there she had some weaponry. Not going to pick it up instead. We're going to back up her partner. Obviously, Fatal Influence. Terrorizing Primetime with their controllers. Kiana continuing to work over the last kicker as Breakdown's next star ready to join the fray. And it's the other champion on this side of things. The Sapphire champion, Julia, entering the hunt. No weaponry needed. She's straight in the ring. Noticing there's a few already there, ready to be utilized as Kiana, nice belly to back suplex. Julia, though, telling Fatal Influence it's time to stop hitting my friend. The last kicker. Fires back as well onto Nyx. But Kiana, she's hit off onto Julia. Oh! I believe Julia was trying to headbutt Kiana James there, but the stop sign got put up. And that's enough to just cause some carnage, stopping Julia from doing what she wants to do. Hitting that sheet of metal really isn't pleasant. Nice step up enziguri from Nyx, connecting onto Julia. Now trying to protect Kiana James, but cannot do so just yet. Instead, it's Julia now a kendo stick in hand, but that's fallen out of her hand. Airplane spin from Becky. As Nyx dealing with Julia, our next star. About to join us. Springboard drop kick. Nice targeting there from Nyx. I think she transitioned in midair to hit it. As, well, it's the other half of the tag champions entering the fray next. It's JC Jane not wanting to enter without some plunder herself. She does the Devon Dudley and gets a table into War Games. Anything else? Oh, why not? It's 2v2 right now, so still beneficial for Fatal Influence. So more the merrier in terms of weaponry. A trash can now into the picture. Oh, you know what? JC Jane going for some more. Nice Northern Lights suplex into the pinning predicament for Nyx there. But remember, you cannot pin until all are in. And that's a big-time shot. I don't know who got busted open there. But that stop sign did some damage. And there was a bit of friendly fire. It was Kiana James busted open by her own partner. It's Fatal Influence. With the 3 advantage as the 401k connects. I believe that's busted someone else open. Irish whip up and over. Boom! Big kick from Nyx. Becky in trouble. Eats a German. And the numbers advantage is gone. I've got a feeling this is classed as numbers advantage to Breakdown as the former Ruby Belt champion into the hunt. Big time brainbuster from Julia though. There's a lot of history in this matchup for Nia with all of her team. Obviously losing her Sapphire belt to Julia. Then taking the belt from Liv Morgan to lose it back to her. And then in the rematch, the rubber match between Liv and Nia, Becky cashing in halfway through. Triple threat match rules then apply. And Big Time Bex, the last kicker, steals the championship. Nia's got a bone to settle with all of her team. So maybe it's still not numbers advantage to Breakdown. But if Nia continues the way she is, it could be. But that's a big DDT from Kiana, stopping Nia Jax's force. Fatal Influence and the Breakdown Best really going at it. But the numbers are going to go back to... Oh, it's Kiana James. Oh, that was not pretty. Sent down, crashing into the mat. As well, the champion is into the ring. No weapons needed. Just the ones ready for her. We have to wait one more time before War Games can officially begin. But right now, full Fatal Influence lineup in the ring as a nice backbreaker from Fallon connects onto Julia. Nyx choking out Becky on that bottom rope. Headbutt from Julia going to connect as well. That's going to bust open JC Jane. And the thing about this matchup, a lot of blood shed. A lot of carnage can happen. It's Fallon grabbing a hold of Nia. Smart, but cannot follow it up. Instead, it's Nia with a shot. So Kiana James takes it, utilizing Fallon's time bought to grab a kendo stick and strike true onto Nia. As well, Nia caught, can't hit the military press. Kiana setting up Nia for Fallon's springboard offense. All the carnage happening in this one ring. It's not spread out as a stop sign connects. Julia, Northern Lights, bomb. Finally, it's time to welcome Liv Morgan into War Games. This matchup, it can officially begin. Pinfall submission. All that matters now. That is the way to win this. You can forfeit the matchup as Fisherman's Driver from Becky connects onto Fallon. The champion nips up as those two renewing that battle from Tuesday night. Obviously, Henley winning out in that one. Pinfall here. Who's getting the better of it? The answer is no one. It's hard to tell who was involved in it. I believe it was JC Jane and Julia. Actually now spreading across as the champ, Fallon Henley, going to work now onto Nia Jax. Kiana James scaling the cage. Not something you typically see. Standing on top. What's she doing? Oh, she connects. Splash onto Becky from the top of the steel structure. Eyes on Liv now. Hooking up JC Jane. Putting her through a table. Henley striking onto Nia. Jawbreaker. But Liv, oh, trying to hit Fallon. Caught. Bulldog. The former double champ now well, not going to hit the hoedown. JC Jane says, nah, fam, I've got a sledgehammer. But the former double champ, now the unified World Television champ. Certainly showing why she's on top as a cover here. Rolling encore from JC Jane attempted. Failing to land it flush onto Nia. Fatal Influence in control as there's the hoedown. Morgan eats the knee. Nia has a chance to break this pin up. Not going to do it. Roll up from Jane. Catching her. Cover now onto Nia. Smart work by Fatal Influence to keep people away from that pinning predicament. Eyes on Kiana. She's in the pinner herself onto Julia. And she gets it. My word, Fatal Influence have just won War Games for prime time. 1-0 advantage. Technically, it's 3-0 if we include our previous bouts last week, or this week, I should say. But your main event ends with Fatal Influence on top against the best that Breakdown has to offer. And in my mind, there's potential for a championship bout between Fatal Influence's Kiana James and Julia, based on what I just saw. But that may have to come. Don't forget, Fatal Influence, obviously, with the Women's Tag Team Championship, can and will sit across both shows. So, Kiana can challenge Julia. We shall see if that comes into effect, but obviously tomorrow night we will finish out our tournaments. Thank you very much for joining me for Uprising Night 1. All in all, this was a really good show. 2K26, man. What can I say? New era. But to finish it out, thank you very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed Night 1. Night 2 coming at you tomorrow. Then we have a break week of, quote, IPW action. Doesn't mean we're not playing 2K26. We will be back finishing off the showcase, as well as maybe trying My Rise. We'll see you then for more live action. Peace out.